In tonight's headlines, Niche discusses September celebrations competitions, Women in Fisheries convene for forum in Dangriga, and we hear about the upcoming changes in Social Security contributions. These stories and more on this week's edition of Belize Now. Thanks for joining us on this Friday, June 14, 2019. I am Erin Guzman. According to the Fisheries Department Licensing and Registration Database of January 2017, women made up only 3% of the over 1,000 registered fishers in Belize. While women account for only a small percentage of actual fishers, they participate in other key support roles. On Thursday, June 6th, we visited Dangriga Town, where some of these women gathered for the third Women in Fisheries Forum.
Fisherwomen, scalers, processors, managers, and women involved in any part of the fisheries industry gathered at the Pelican Beach Resort in Dangrigatong from June 6 to 7, 2019 for the Women in Fisheries Forum. The forum, which has provided a space for information sharing for the last 3 years, is a collaborative effort between the Marine Conservation and Climate Change Adaptation Project, MCAP, and the World Conservation Society, WCS. Program Director for MCAP, Dr. Sandra Grant, told us more about this year's forum.
This is our third meeting, and this year we decided to do demonstrations. So this is for the first time we're having a 2 days meeting, and we're doing demonstration on seaweed production and deep stock fishing.
Though these women are actively involved in the fisheries industry, through the forum, it became obvious that many did not have access to important information.
Women were not getting most of the information that we thought they were getting, because a lot of the information goes through the Fishermen Association, and a lot of them are not members of Fishermen's Associations. And so we realized that when the women came together, it is a forum for information exchange. That is what we try to do. Every year that we have the meeting, we try to give specific information that are important to the fishery sector for the women.
In addition to the field experiences, this year's participants were also introduced to some new technology, mobile apps which can be utilized during their daily fishing activities.
The first app that we're sharing is the app called ClimaPesca. Now, ClimaPesca was developed by Seeker and Ospesca, and we're just utilizing that in Belize. And what the app does is actually gives weather information. So what we're explaining to the fishers and to the ladies is that before you go to sea, check the weather and see. You look to check for hurricanes, you look to check for wind direction, you look to check for wind speed and all of that before you get out to sea.
The WCS also introduced their Our Fish app, a digital reporting system that enables fishing communities to monitor the amount, type, and location of fish being caught.
We're trying to encourage middlemen in particular to use, and restaurateurs to use, to document their purchases of fish so that we can have a better understanding of what is tracing where fish come from and what the volume of fish is taken out of our waters. And we also encourage, of course, within the fisheries policies are to document their catch on sea, so their fish logbook. So we want to see how we can have those digitized as well to make for easier reporting, making things faster, data sharing between the fishers and the management authority.
Though women comprise only a small part of the industry, their roles are vital to its continued growth and development.
We want to just recognize the importance that women play in the marine sector, from the women who catch the fish, the women who sell the fish, as well as the women who support the men and their children on the water. Because this society, Belize, of course, depends on the power of women to move forward and to accomplish great things. And we just feel that it is important. Well, the sector is very, it's less than 10% of women documented within the fisheries sector, it is an important demographic, and we want to make sure that there's continued focus in the future. So that's something that we hope to see continue long term.
For Belize Now, I am Janelle Mencius.
The National Celebrations Commissions is inviting submissions for the annual Belize Song Competition. The goal of the competition is to promote artistic expression, national pride, and Belize's diverse culture. Janelle Rodriguez found out more about this year's competition.
Let me take you for a walk throughout my nation, show you the beauty of the Keys and Islands.
In its continued effort to highlight Belize's rich and unique cultural heritage, the National Celebrations Commission is once again hosting a national song competition in which both professional and amateur songwriters and performing artists will have an opportunity to showcase their original pieces on a grand stage. We spoke to some of last year's winners who told us what makes this such a great competition for Belize and a great opportunity for Belizean artists.
When me step out in me red, white and blue, everybody hype and me stick like glue. Them a ask me, girl, what's wrong with you?
Why I think this competition is important because one, it helps us being in tune with your country. It gets you having to get in touch with all, the old Belizean rhymes and stuff like that to put into that patriotic song to make it patriotic. And also what I love is that they have the carnival section where, after being patriotic and all that, you can just jump up and enjoy yourself to your own song, to your own Belizean music, and it makes it your own and you enjoy it.
Every year I look forward to the competition because they highlight the culture of Belize, they highlight different artists, and the competition takes the performance to different people in different districts. So I look forward to it every year.
Get ready to fit to the soca.
With this competition, because it's international, it's online, you get that international and local publicity. And you also get to meet new people. You also get to learn, if it's your first time, how to hold a mic, how to grace a stage. You also get to learn how to entertain. You get to learn how to record.
What does it take to become a winner? What are the judges looking for? What can Belizeans expect from the performances? These are some of the questions that we asked Neil Hall, Communications and Marketing Officer at the National Institute of Culture and History.
We want something that will be inspiring, thought-provoking, something that's going to be catchy, and or just something that will make Belizeans go, yes. For the Belize song, we're looking for a song that will convey a blessing, a message about Belize, a message to Belize. Something that, again, just like the theme, is going to be something that celebrates Belizean culture, Belizean lifestyles, Belizean lives. For the National Song Competition's Carnival section, though, we're looking for that song that when you turn it on the radio, you put it on YouTube, or when you put it on anywhere, all you want to do is start jumping up and having a good time. We're looking for that song that will convey energy, that will convey what Carnival and what September in Belize is all about. All that enjoyment, all that energy, all that excitement, all those E-words all rolled up together in one.
Hall further explained that the reward that winners will receive goes far beyond just its face value.
When you get that moment on stage and you have a ton of people in front of you giving you their all, giving you their attention and their energy, that in and of itself is the reward. The fact that you could also win, in the case of the juniors, $3,000 or more, and in the case of the seniors, I believe it's about $10,000. That really helps to make it a very special September.
For new and aspiring artists, or for those who need a little extra confidence to enter into this year's competition, some of the previous winners shared some advice and told us what made their entries successful.
To make my music really stand out last year, I did it from from my heart. When I wrote the song, I didn't think about submitting it in the competition, but, recording the song here at the UIS, and everybody was like, it's a really good song. And I was like, I do have confidence that if I submit this song, it could be placed as something.
In high school, I used to watch this national song competition over TV, and I always imagined myself being a part of the competition, and I told myself one day that why not go for it? So I went to Mr. Jerome Alley at the time in Wesley College. This time around I was 17 and 17 years old, and he gave me a song entitled Pocono Boy, and I told him I don't know nothing about singing, nothing about recording, nothing about live performance, and he told me just you can learn. You have to tell yourself you want to win, and if you have that spirit that you that night there, that what counts, when you deliver as an entertainer.
Enter. You never know, you never know what the future brings. You never know what the future holds. Enter with no regrets. Enter with a clean mind and a clean heart and with an open mind, because you never know what could happen. You learn, and whatever you learn, you take it out there on the stage and you just do it.
The competition comprises of 2 categories: a Belize song category, which should be an original song reflecting a strong Belizean identity, flavor, and rhythm, and should inspire a sense of national pride and unity, and the Carnival song category, which should be an original song which will be used for celebratory purposes during the September celebrations and throughout the year. Both professional and aspiring artists are encouraged to enter. Deadline for submission is Friday, July 12th at 5 p.m. For Belize Now, I am Janelle Rodriguez.
Belize to the world. This is your soca queen Ernestine. And for 2019 Carnival, guess where you'll find me come Carnival Day? Behind a big truck in a the party. And I will be jumping come Carnival Day. 'Cause we no care who talking but way.
After the break, we'll hear about the September Celebrations theme competition. Stay with us.
Belizeans, we are in the hurricane season.
Be prepared.
Make sure you have an emergency family plan to weather a storm or to evacuate if you live in a weak structure or low-lying area susceptible to flooding or storm surge. Know which shelter you would go and how exactly you would get there.
Be responsible.
Secure your home and assets, battening down roofs, boarding up doors and windows, and trimming overgrown trees. Where branches are near power lines, seek assistance from the experts at Belize Electricity Limited.
Be informed.
Monitor and adhere only to official updates and advisories from NEMO and the Belize Met Service.
Be wise.
Do not be led by rumors from unauthorized sources on social media or elsewhere.
Be organized.
If you and your family must evacuate to a shelter, pack enough food and water to last a minimum of 3 days.
Be considerate.
Do not carry excessive luggage or items to a shelter that could occupy unnecessary space or inconvenience others.
Be decisive.
If you are officially advised to evacuate, do so without delay, understanding that it is difficult or impossible for NEMO officials to rescue you or your family in the midst of a storm.
Remember, your safety and security is your first responsibility. Look out for yourself and your family and keep an eye out for your neighbors and community.
A message from the National Emergency Management Organization.
All Belizeans living at home or abroad are invited to submit their ideas for the 2019 September Celebrations theme competition in commemoration of the 221st anniversary of the Battle of St. George's Key and the 38th anniversary of Belize's independence. Our Belize Now team spoke to previous theme winners to find out what inspired their entries.
Every year, Belizeans get an opportunity to submit entries into a national team competition in which one successful entrant can have their team used across the country throughout the September celebrations. Last year's winner was 42-year-old Miss Fernanda Tun, a high school secretary at the Corozal Community College. Tun, who hails from Shaibe Village in the Corozal district, told us what inspired the 2018 team, Belize Now and Forever 8867.
Belize I chose that part because we are Belizeans and we are proud Belizeans. And Belize for us is like our heritage that we have now and forever, because Belize is for us today, now and forever, and will always be Belize for us Belizeans. And the 8867, I chose it because that is the square miles that Belize has.
We also spoke to the government press office's very own Janelle Mencias, who in 2013 was honored to have her entry selected as the national team. Mencias, who is now a senior information officer at the government press office, was 24 the year her team was selected.
Belize is a part of me. It's a part of everybody who lives here in some way or the other, or if you're a Belizean anywhere, it's something that you can relate to, because you know they always say you could take people out of Belize, but you can't take the Belize out of them. And so I feel like it's something we could relate to, whether we're home or abroad.
In this competition, persistence may just be the key. Tun told us that her winning entry was not her first attempt in the team competition, while Mencias mentioned that she had multiple entries in the year her team was selected.
I have been participating like 4 to 5 years, and this last year, 2018, well, my team was chosen.
That was one of 3 submissions that I actually made, and the one I thought was least likely to win. So I was very surprised when I got the news that that was selected out of that year's submissions.
Neil Hall, Communications and Marketing Officer in the National Institute for Culture and History, emphasized what an honor it is to win the national team competition.
Being the person responsible for that slogan for the year, I think is a huge honor. I think it's an opportunity for you to put your name on the September celebrations. The person who wins the theme competition, of course, their theme goes all over the country in terms of the banners that we use. Anything that's printed, t-shirts are printed with their slogan, their theme on it. We then have, of course, their being our guest of honor at the opening of the September celebrations and at a few of the celebrations that we have aside from that particular one. So for whosoever wins that prize, it's just a great national honor.
Tun and Mencias told us how they felt to have received that honor.
I felt excited, I felt happy, and I thank the Lord for having my team being chosen. I'm like famous right now because I walk on the streets and they say, oh, it's that girl that won, or things like that. And I feel happy because everywhere I hear it, my children are excited. They say, Mom, see your team.
It was exciting being a young person and, walking around, and everywhere you go, you see your theme, you hear people using it, you hear it on the radio. And so that felt good, and it feels like an honor to have your name somewhat etched in history, because you can Google September 2013 team and it will be there, along with all that pride and the attention that it got. You also have the plus of getting a cash prize as well, and you can't beat that.
For those who are considering entering into the competition this year, this is what the previous winners had to say.
Like they say, if we don't participate, we don't have that opportunity to be a winner. So I urge them to participate and come up with their ideas and make up their teams. At least you are trying, and who knows, maybe you can be one chosen.
if you have an idea, put it out there. Nothing ever beats a try. I mean, I put in 3 submissions, like I said. The one that I thought was least likely to be selected, it was the one that they chose. And you just never know.
The theme should not be more than 10 words. Multiple entries are allowed, and the winner will receive a cash prize of 1,000 Belize dollars and an invitation to the official ceremonies during September. Submissions can be emailed to septembercelebrations@gmail.com. Deadline for submission is Friday, June 21st, 2019. For Belize Now, I am Janelle Rodriguez.
The Social Security Board recently announced an increase in monthly contributions. On Tuesday, June 11th, the SSB held an information session where their CEO, Dr. Colin Young, explained the new changes.
The last time the contribution schedule was revised was in 2001, and at that time the maximum insurable earning increased from $130 a week to $320 where it is today. In 2003, there was a 1% increase in the rate that took it from 7% to 8%. And what we are doing today, 17 years later, is to increase both the ceiling, which is the maximum insurable weekly earning, as well as the rate.
Dr. Young said that their actuary recommended a 2% increase in the rate and an increase in the insurable earning up to $520. However, not all the partners agreed to an immediate change, but rather they approved of a phased increase.
Essentially what we're doing is phasing in the rate over 2.5 years and phasing in the maximum insurable earning over 3 years as well. So simply right now it's 8%. We want to go to 8.5% this year, 9% next year, and 1 more percent in 2020. The ceiling also goes from 320 to 440 this year, next year to 480, and in 2021 to 520.
Dr. Young explained that the upside to the new increase is an increase in benefits.
The rate is what is utilized to ensure the sustainability of the fund. The reason is that when the rates increase, it doesn't have a corresponding increase in benefits. But when the ceiling increases, when the amount of money we insure from your salary increases, benefits increase along with that. And so very simple, at the high end in 2021, for example, somebody who is collecting $256 today, paying at the ceiling, if they're paying at the ceiling in 2021, they will be collecting $416 a week. One of the things we want to really point out to the employees who may feel a little for paying a little bit more, is that the return you get on paying Social Security beats any rate of return you can get on putting that money at any credit union or bank. Look at these numbers on the screen. Here's somebody who worked for 23 years and 4 months. After that entire time, they had paid in total, including the employee and the employer portion combined, $14,000 into Social Security. That's the total contribution. When they reach retirement, and these are real people, by the way, and these are not extreme examples, these are typical examples. You notice the person has retired for 13 years, collecting a retirement benefit of $163.36 per week. So we have already paid this person $110,000, but all we collected from him or her is $14,000. Okay? You cannot maintain this type of a business if you don't occasionally increase contributions.
The increase will take effect in July. Stay tuned for more stories after the break.
On Wednesday, May 8th, Belizeans soundly decided to take the unfounded Guatemalan claim to the International Court of Justice, the ICJ. According to the special agreement, this is what happens next. 1. By June 8, 2019, the government of Belize will submit the 2008 special agreement to the ICJ. Guatemala has already done so since their referendum was held in 2018. This will give the ICJ official authority to hear the dispute and to deliver a final binding result. The ICJ will then prepare a notice of when the trial will commence. 2. Next, Guatemala will have up to 1 year, that's 12 months, to submit their case to the ICJ. 3. Belize will then have up to 1 year, that's 12 months, to respond to Guatemala's submission. 4. From there, Guatemala will be given up to 6 months to reply to our arguments, and 5. Belize will then have up to 6 months thereafter to reply to Guatemala's response. 6. After the period of written arguments ends, the ICJ may allow additional pleadings, including oral arguments, and would set deadlines for those. 7. Once the timeline for arguments has ended, the ICJ will deliberate and make a ruling in accordance with the instructions and authorities granted to them by Belize and Guatemala, as per the 2008 special agreement. 8. After the ICJ's ruling is delivered, Belize and Guatemala will have 3 months to establish a joint commission to physically demarcate the boundaries between the two countries in accordance with the ICJ's ruling. The entire process will take no less than 4 years and can be as many as 6 years. This ICJ process will bring a final end to this long-standing Belize-Guatemala dispute. Belize and Guatemala will be able to put old divisions and antagonisms behind us and ensure that peace, development, and cooperation prevail.
The Ministry of Health has partnered with UNICEF and the Pan American Health Organization, PAHO, to develop 2 mental health projects that directly impact the adolescent population in Belize. Both projects were officially launched at a ceremony in Belize City on Tuesday, June 11th. There, we spoke to Ms. Juliette Simmons, counselor for the Ministry of Health's mental health program, who told us about the projects.
The first one, we're doing a measurement of adolescent mental health at the population level. That means we want to gather data on adolescent mental health. And the second project is the HAT, we call it, which is to help adolescents thrive. So that's another project where we'll be interacting with adolescents to find out from their perspective, what do they need from us to help provide, mental health services to them.
Initial discussions with UNICEF and PAHO began in December 2018. This week, the partners are working with an initial group of 30 adolescents to run focus groups as well as to test instruments. There will also be further testing in July and August with a larger group of 300 adolescents. The next step is to partner with the Statistical Institute of Belize to include the instruments as a part of the census. Simmons explained why all this information is important.
It will be great for us that we'll finally have some good data on adolescent mental health. For the mental health program, it will give us also the statistics we need to know. We need to know what is the situation among our adolescents. We need to know how it is and what services that is needed, how to make it more accessible, how we can get more human resources, how we can get more funding.
Mental health conditions account for 16% of the global burden of disease and injury in adolescents, people aged 10 to 19 years old. Among the same age group, depression is one of the leading causes of illness and disability, and suicide the third leading cause of death for adolescents aged 15 to 19 years old. Speaking at the event, Mrs. Kim Simplice Barrow, Special Envoy for Women and Children, highlighted these statistics, reiterating the need for immediate action.
These facts are nothing short of staggering, and countries all over the world are taking it seriously. Some are calling it a silent catastrophe. Others say it's an epidemic occurring across the globe. Whatever term they are choosing to describe the magnitude of mental health challenges being experienced by everyone, especially by our young people. There is no denying that it needs to be strategically addressed.
Last Friday, June 7th, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs announced that notification of the special agreement between Belize and Guatemala to submit Guatemala's territorial, insular, and maritime claim to the International Court of Justice (ICJ) of 2008, along with its protocol of 2015, was deposited to the register of the court in The Hague, Netherlands. Guatemala notified the ICJ of the special agreement after it successfully held its referendum on April 15, 2018. Belize's notification, therefore, perfects the consent of both parties to the jurisdiction of the court to determine Guatemala's legal claims in accordance with Article 2 of the special agreement. Belize's notification activates the written procedure under the special agreement, which provides that Guatemala shall present its memorial within 1 year of the date on which the special agreement was notified to the court. It is expected that Guatemala will submit its claim no later than June 7, 2020. After receiving Guatemala's memorial, Belize will have 1 year to respond. The letter of notification by Belize to the court was signed by Minister of Foreign Affairs, Honorable Wilfred Elrington, and was delivered to the Registrar of the ICJ by His Excellency Dylan Vernon, Ambassador of Belize in Belgium. And that's it for this edition of Belize Now. If you want to provide feedback or send in your comments, please feel free to email us at info@pressoffice.gov.bz or visit our Facebook page and let us know what you think. We look forward to hearing from you. From all of us here, have a great week. Until next time.